What's up? We're here with Tom and Rainier. What's up, Tom?
What's up?
Rainier.
What's up?
These guys are really cool, really spiritual, and you're writing a book on the spirituality of Bitcoin.
Where money is energy and energy is frequency, and frequency can be measured. That's what I did.
Wow.
Like what you find is, on the scale of consciousness that David Hawkins developed using applied kinesiology, you can calibrate the state of consciousness of a thought, of an institution, anything where this as a collective accumulates. It could be you, it could be a belief system, anything. Money is a strong belief system. And if you measure the frequency of existing fiat currencies, they all calibrate below 200, meaning they're life-destructive forces. And thus it's not a surprise that the state of the world we see right now is total war, is systematic corruption, is the decay of morals. But that is the frequency we build our society upon. Right? So naturally the frequency of the base layer of money will bleed into whatever institution you build on top. And Bitcoin fundamentally changes that. Unconditional love, right? It's 500. That's why it feels such like a spiritual event when you engage with it, because replacing your subconscious program of money from fiat to Bitcoin has profound impacts. Because now suddenly the thoughts you produce within that program are rooted in love instead of anxiety or stress or whatever fiat produces. It's negative frequencies. So that's why it's so profound.
This is the most insightful and spiritual thought I've had on Bitcoin. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah,
how do you measure the frequency? It's hertz?
Well, on the scale of consciousness, yeah, it's hertz, yeah, but basically you do the muscle test. Consciousness responds to the presence of truth, or it goes weak if there's no truth, the absence of truth. And through that method you can make statements like, I don't know,
and you check just the resistance.
You check what I think is true, and then you have someone else holding up the arm. You can calibrate. If it goes weak, I have a wrong assumption in my head. There's a break in your. And they develop a framework to measure everything, states of human consciousness, of ideas, of belief systems, social constructs, etc. And then if you apply it to money, to Bitcoin, it explains why fiat leads to destruction and Bitcoin leads to liberation. Because it's just energy responding to energy, frequency interacting with frequency. That's why everywhere Bitcoin is adopted, freedom, hope, and prosperity follow. Because that's a frequency, it's abundance, right? It's love, that's what Bitcoin represents. So everything it touches, it becomes love. It recontextualizes the negative into, or elevates it into something better, something more beautiful.
That's incredible. I think you've coined why I'm attracted to Bitcoin. And I've heard a lot of people around me. I have hope. Bitcoin gives me hope.
Because the frequency of hope. It's just what you feel is just engaging with that frequency. Studying Bitcoin, transacting in Bitcoin, whatever thinking within the Bitcoin framework means you're interacting with that frequency, which is love, unconditional love. And 99.6% of the planet are not at that state. We all have our state of being, our natural state, and 99.6% of the world is below unconditional love. We're somewhere in between. Some are on the negative side, a few are on the positive side, and very few reach enlightenment and the state. And Bitcoin is at that intersection of spiritual and material world. That's why it feels almost like a spiritual event. It's a spiritual event. For all of us, the frequency Bitcoin represents is above our current state, so interacting with it is like an anchor that pulls you up. It gives you hope, it gives you freedom, it gives you abundance, it gives you all these things.
Incredible. Those are incredible thoughts. You're writing a book. I'm gonna read your book, and I'm gonna buy your book.
It's almost done. Yeah.
I'm gonna buy your book. Definitely, when it's done, I'm gonna.
I will send you.
Appreciate it. Why don't you come here? Come here. I just want to move because this is Rainier, and we're with Rainier and Tom. We just did this tobacco thing. I could say it, right? It's like legal. It's like a tobacco, and we're saying that you're like, for me, you're a shaman. For me, you were telling me all the benefits of this tobacco. Tell me a little bit about that.
I'll start off saying I'm not a shaman, but I'll take that as a compliment.
Yes.
I've lived in Colombia for over the last 5 years. I'm the event coordinator for Bitcoin Medellin, Bitcoin only conference in Colombia.
Yes.
And going back to the rapé, this is a ancestral medicine. This is tobacco. In many cultures around the world, tobacco is a very sacred medicine. Unfortunately, it's been perverted with cigarettes and all these chemicals, and that's really bad for you. But all these different cultures around the world, whether it's smoking cigars or using tobaccos like rapé or ambil. There's different ways it's consumed. This particular blend is called Parica, and it's about gratitude. So there's different plants and trees from the Amazonian jungle in Brazil and Colombia. There's different types of blends. This one is specifically for gratitude. When we shared this moment together, we all shared our energy, and every time I participate in this medicine, I'm always very grateful for my friends and my family, things that are going on in my life. Whenever I'm stressed out, I just become in a moment of peace. And so that's what we did, and I appreciate you for entrusting us with trying this for the first time and sharing your energy, because it's a pretty big deal when you just accept something from someone else and their energy latches onto you, and that's in a conversation, that's with your time, that's with your emotion. And spiritually and energetically, I appreciate that you entrusted us with sharing this medicine.
You guys are cool. You guys are like I met your group. You guys are kind of like a bit of more on the rebel side with the guys that were out there, but you guys are, I don't know if they're as spiritual as you guys, but I really appreciate it. Not as much, no. But I really appreciate that, because my life is, as I told you off camera, is half technological, which is like, theology, Bitcoin, and half spiritual. I put a lot of faith and I put a lot of trust in people. I assume people are good people right off of the start. I put a lot of faith in all the spiritual realm. So this is cool stuff you guys are doing. Are you writing a book too? You should write a book. Oh
no, I'm not a writer, but in terms of Colombia, come say what's up if you see me at any Bitcoin conference. Kind of like what Tom was saying, is like your vibration and your energy. It's not by coincidence that we met and trusted us. It's like it's by fate, and our energy and our vibrations are attracting each other and people that you'll meet. There's a reason you connect with certain people, is because everyone's vibrating a certain way, and you just naturally.
I heard about the Netherlands conference this morning. Maybe we go. I think it's in January.
It's in January 16, 17, so it's our second annual coming up.
I have to hit you guys up if I go there for sure. Did this come before Bitcoin or after Bitcoin, all this?
So this is after Bitcoin. So my Bitcoin story starts in Colombia. I was there on vacation actually in 2020. Pandemic had started, and that 1 month ended up turning into 7 months. Long story short, one of my roommates was a Bitcoiner, and he killed me. Thank God, and very thankful for him. And from there, as Bitcoin changes you and affects you physically, emotionally, spiritually, I eventually wanted to change my life for the better. I eventually found plant medicine. In Colombia and Medellin specifically, there's different tribes that have different plant medicines. You could have ayahuasca, you can have rapé, cambo, ambil, all these different things. So I went down that rabbit hole, plant medicine, to just really get my life together emotionally, spiritually. And
I have a question for both of you, if I could get you both in the camera. As the world is changing, I think, and we're kind of awakening, this is what I think where we're at in society. People, they fall into stuff. They fall into changing their body, changing their habits, or eating habits, or health habits. And I think Bitcoin kind of fits in somewhere in that awakening. And I think in the end game is that everybody will kind of realize that Bitcoin is, part of that process.
It becomes a study of a new technology, but it transmutes into a state of being. It becomes a feeling. It's a frequency that you then adopt, and then you want to change your life for the better, because suddenly it has meaning, and suddenly the future is not discounted anymore. And suddenly you found meaning in preparing something long term for the future, because Bitcoin is this anchor that's always there and will always be there for the next thousands of years. It gives you confidence, and fiat is the lifespan of a fiat currency is 30 to 40 years. There's no platform for long-term growth. It dies eventually. You don't know when, but all fiat currencies die. It's visible. The US dollar has managed to sustain 200, 300 years now, but it's obvious. It's a decay, because that's within the design of the system. The frequency is self-destructive. It's not supportive of life.
And by not discounting the future, which everybody's discounting the future today, we're running after our tails, trying to make ends meet, and everybody's in a gambling mode, to stealing mode, and hopefully everybody follows this path and goes to more traditional stuff, traditional medicines, with the help of Bitcoin, with the help of the frequency of Bitcoin.
The hell of my book, the Bitcoin frequency.
Amazing. You guys were fantastic, man, both of you. Peace, man. All right, this was a great conversation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right.